look at the clock right now. I'm seeing 8:01, and I'm telling you that this started at 8 o'clock on the dot. I watched it turn to 8. I hit the go live button. I ran the theme music, and we're here. And know who's not here? Jeff. Jeff is not here. Now, I want you all to think really quick. The show usually starts a couple minutes late, sometimes even 5-6 minutes late. And also, Jeff's usually here. Now, Jeff's not here right now, and the show started on time. Can someone tell me in the chat who is the reason why this show starts after 8 o'clock? I'm not saying it's not me. I'm not pointing any fingers. I'm just giving you some solid information. Anyway, I'm going to be solo tonight. Not really solo because we have our news correspondent, Josh, in the house. He is going to be helping out with the whole show, not just the news today. Josh, are you prepared for this kind of responsibility?
Joe, I was born ready for this kind of responsibility. And like you were just saying, we started on time tonight. I think this is going to be the greatest episode ever. Maybe due to the fact that Jeff is out of the picture.
Wow, that is saying a lot. Don't forget, you are still on thin ice from your ridiculous, quite honestly, ridiculous relationship with someone who is suing the channel and all the legal trouble, the headaches, the paperworks, the fees that we're racking up here at Comic Book Canon. But you know what? We're going to let it slide this week. I'm going to ignore all that nonsense going on behind stage, and we're gonna do a great show because that's what we're here for. And there's 13 million people watching right now, and that's something we really appreciate. And actually just went up to 14 million. We just gained 1 million followers in less than a second. That's pretty impressive. That being said, let's get into the show. And since you're already here, our first segment of the day, of course, is going to be the news. We're going to talk about a bunch of different news stories.
Well, do we want to talk about the featured episode issue first?
Josh, see, this is why Josh is here, guys. Josh is here because Joe doesn't remember everything. Featured episode issue, boom. We've got, this is episode 190 of Comic Book Canon, and we have Iron Man number 190. And Josh, what's up with this book?
So this is actually a great issue. It focuses on Tony Shark, and this is when he's struggling with alcoholism. He is completely, his company is lost. Shark International and his Iron Man armor, he lost it to his rival,
Obadiah Stane. Yeah.
And Tony has hit rock bottom, and of course, Rhodey, Colonel Rose, is here to help take up the mantle of Iron Man, and he is dealing with some mental and physical changes as well, and the kind of probably weight of carrying the mantle of Iron Man, I'd say, in Legacy of Iron Man is a lot. So this is a hard-punching episode.
Yeah, this is a really cool issue. Great cover here. This is, during one of the times that Tony is dealing with his demons, his demon in a bottle, as they call it in that the original run. And this is the string where Rhodey has taken over as Iron Man for a little bit.
It's kind of like what's happening tonight with you. Jeff's dealing with his. I mean, we have seen him drink alcohol on the show, so he's dealing with his issues, his demon in the bottle, and you're here to take up the mantle.
Yeah, I think what I heard, and I can't confirm nor deny this. I heard that Jeff actually has a meeting with a very prestigious company, and he has been offered a role at that company, and he has to meet with them. This company, it's something called like Cyberdyne. Cyberdyne. I think that's it. But yeah, hopefully, he gets some good news from them, and he'll be able to. They said they would really liked what he was doing with, with having Chet on the show. Something that has to do with that. But we'll have to figure out what's going on.
Maybe
with that
more money for the canyon. We can finally get a coffee maker in the break room.
Josh, I hate to tell you this. I don't know what you're talking about because we don't have a break room. So I don't know where you've been going to
I'm
take.
just saying, maybe we'll get a break room with a coffee maker. Who knows?
Okay, yeah, we get a break room. Well, we would first also have to get breaks, which we do not
No,
allow
yes,
here at
that's
Comic
true.
Book Cannon. We take no breaks. We take this very, very seriously. And on that note, let's get into the news. We got some, in my
Yes.
opinion, some pretty great news today.
This has
Josh,
been a great week.
hit us up with that first
So
piece of
let's start
MCU
off.
news.
I believe it was Monday or Tuesday. Marvel gave us a first drop trailer for Agatina All Along. I'm kind of liking the name change. They had a couple different names, but it's streaming on September 18th on Disney Plus. The first 2 episodes, I believe, and I have to say, the trailer really looks. You can tell it's a follow up to WandaVision,
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited for this because Agatina obviously she's different in the comics. She's a lot older, and
Yes.
here they're doing something different. But you know, the way how she's gonna kind of be trapped in Wanda's like different reality that she put her in, and I think the different things she's gonna do in the show, it looks really good. I'm excited. Some people are saying they don't need this. It's not gonna save the MCU. I don't need it to save anything. I just think it's a great character. Some new characters going to be introduced. Some returning characters from Wanda and Vision will be coming back as well. And I'm excited for it.
Yeah, for sure. I think that Agatha was one of those characters that no one that didn't like really read comics.
Yeah.
She wasn't known in the mainstream is basically what I'm trying to say. She
Mhm.
wasn't, a character that was like a superhero that might have been on a main character in a cartoon at some point. It wasn't a character that, people really would know. So we got our first introduction to her during WandaVision. I think this looks great. My question about the title, Agatha All Along, was the name changes. Could it possibly have been a kind of like a game that they were playing with us? Like they were like, oh, it's this name. No, it's this name. No, it's this name. Oh, no, it was just Agatha all along. Wouldn't that be
Yeah.
funny?
I think Marvel could definitely. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised in the first 5-10 minutes they do that, or maybe it'll be like kind of like how WandaVision throughout the couple of episodes where you started kind of seeing like something was wrong with her and she wasn't exactly just another supporting cast member.
Yeah.
So that'd be pretty cool. I'd like to see them do it.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm excited for that. The trailer looks solid. But I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say that there was another trailer that dropped that I'm more excited about. We're not gonna get into that yet because that's later in the news. Let's move on to our second news story. Josh, take it away.
You should be excited about this piece of news, and I think a lot of us will be. So Matthew Kananchi?
I think Chauncey, Matthew Chauncey.
Is writing X-Men 97 season 3. Season 3 is now in active development. From what I understand, season 2 was already been written and was done, and I believe they probably already shot most of it. I'm hearing that season 2 might drop possibly at the end of this year, beginning of next. But great news to hear that season 3 is now in active development. Obviously, this means that X-Men 97 and animated Marvel is going to be moving forward.
Yeah, very cool. I think the first season really united MCU fans, just Marvel fans, comic fans in general. Everyone really liked it. It wasn't a situation where, there were a lot of naysayers and there were a lot of people that were, oh, I stopped watching after this episode. It was pretty much just generally people really, either happy or really, really happy about how the show is going. Noting that we're talking about season 3 here. That's because season 2 was already penned. It was already written. So they're full steam ahead on season 2, and season 3 is now at this point confirmed. So we have a lot more animated X-Men to look forward to. Very cool on that. On to the next. We're moving away from Marvel. Josh with the next story.
So we're actually gonna get into some independent news. We're going to get into some Boom Studios. Ross Ritchie, who is the founder of Boom Studios, has sold it to Penguin Random House Publishing Company. And I don't know to consider this good news or bad news. I'm kind of going to leave that up to you, Joe. But I do know from what it sounds like, Ross, he built the company all the way up. Sounded like he was ready to retire. And I guess him selling it over to Penguin Random House is a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of things can come of this. Good and bad. Anytime that a bigger company acquires a smaller company, or anytime even just two companies merge, there can be positives and there can be negatives. I mean, the positive that I see that I'm hoping for is Penguin Random House, massive corporation. They have a lot of money. They could pump some money into Boom and really expand it, whether that means, being able to put out more styles of comics, maybe possibly buying the rights, because they do lease franchises, intellectual property, license. That's the word, licensing. They did Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. They've done a bunch of things like that. So the possibility of more of that in the future. Obviously, we're going from a company being owned by Ross Ritchie, who is a comic book guy. In fact, our good pal Mike Popachilitown said that Ross Ritchie was a customer at his comic book store when Mike worked at a comic book store in the early 90s in Texas. Wow. Ross Ritchie was a customer there and eventually started Boom Studios and like as you said, built up that company and grew it. So going from a very comic book focused guy to now it's owned by a bigger corporation, there's always that question of, are they going to screw it up? So, fingers crossed the best comes of it. Sometimes good things happen, sometimes bad things happen. So we'll have to wait and see.
I guess, yeah, we'll wait and see. And hopefully, I think Boom, a lot of good titles. I think it's not like they, it's looking bad for them. I just, hopefully, like I said, hopefully maybe they'll get some, like you said, more money pumped into them, more content, maybe get some new IPs, and
one thing we should note is it's very hard to compete with Marvel and DC. Marvel and DC, they're the two big ones, and the only company that's really competed with them on that kind of level is Image. And Image has done a great job. They're actually outpacing DC on sales right now. Their sales numbers are better than DC's. So
that's wild to think about.
It went from like the big two to now the big three with Image. The difference being with Image is that it's all creator-owned content, which I think is awesome.
I think creator content. I mean, don't get me wrong. We all love, Batman, Captain America, those IPs, but you also like to see original content and new ideas. And
yeah, for sure. Something killing the children. Something is killing the children. I can't talk. Something is killing the children is Boom Studios, I believe. Yeah, that's actually a run that I don't read and have never read. I never got into that one, but I know it's very popular. So I was reading when that was coming out. I was reading Department of Truth, which I'm far behind on at this point. But it was.
I mean, Ice Cream Man might also be Boom Studios. Who knows?
No, Ice Cream Man is Image, right? Am I wrong?
I don't know.
All right, on to the next piece of news. This is the one that I am the most excited about. Josh, take it away.
So it was supposed to happen Thursday night, got pushed back, and then they stealth dropped it on Friday. Brave New World Captain America #4 has dropped. We got our first look at Red Hulk. I am loving the trailer, and I have massive Winter Soldier vibes from this trailer. I think it looks great. Very interesting to note from what I just heard. This trailer has been watched more times than the Deadpool and Wolverine trailer that was originally released at broke records. And then the likes, I guess, coming from the poster that you see has also surpassed the Deadpool and Wolverine, which I think is a good sign. They recently just got done reshooting some scenes about a month, I want to say, ago. We got about 6 months to go until the movie hits in February. And I think it's February 14th, possibly.
Yeah, so that's
Sounds like Valentine's,
exactly
yeah.
7 months from today. If it's the 14th.
And man, my birthday is on the 11th. Joe, I think yours is on a
13th.
couple days. Yeah.
Yeah, 13th.
So it's gonna be a great birthday week for us, and I can't wait. I'm getting Sam Wilson and his own official movie is just like I love it. I love to see it, and I can't wait to see what they do.
Yeah, and specifically this trailer, I think you hit the nail on the head. And I said this in my initial video, is that gave me Winter Soldier vibes, and Winter Soldier and Civil War are my two favorite MCU movies. So I'm very excited about that. We saw a lot. We saw and we heard the name Isaiah. So we got Isaiah coming back after his brief appearance in Falcon and Winter Soldier. We've got Hakeem Torres coming back from Falcon and Winter Soldier, and he's going to be taking on the role of the new Falcon. And we got Giancarlo Esposito, which we'll come back to in just a minute. We're gonna leave that one.
He looks like a badass, man. I'm not gonna lie, even though he's like obviously, but like they're not gonna announce anything in the trailer. Yeah. But man, seeing him, with the 6-shooter and then the shotgun or whatever, or machine gun,
he looks great.
And and talk about Harrison Ford. I mean, I like their line
about here, buddy.
I like the line about like, oh, well, hey, I like the new appearance. And he's like, yeah, they told me to shave the mustache or not even bother up for re-election and stuff. But I think I'm happy with the recasting. I mean, obviously, I wish William Hunt was still with us and he could continue. Yeah. Sadly, that's not the case. But I think Harrison's going to do a good job. And from this angle, you can kind of tell, it looks like Red Hawk's got a little bit of grayish maybe up in his hair. So he's going to be interesting seeing a Red Hawk Harrison Ford in a way.
Yep. And yeah, I mean, I think that this has been speculated on for actual years at this point that Red Hulk was going to show up. And we finally have like total full confirmation at this point. And it looks good. I love how they just slipped a little appearance in at the end of the trailer and also included him in the poster on the left-hand side of this slide.
The poster is very simple, but in my opinion, one of the best posters we've ever had in our, what are we, 12, 13 years into the MCU now?
Yeah, more than that. 16 this year.
16
years.
Probably, it's like I said, it's a simple poster, but man, that poster, like, looks great.
It's great. We know it's a Captain America movie. We know Red Hulk's in it, and that's what I like about the trailer is we don't know too much more. We don't really know everything about it. We weren't spoiled too much in that plot. Hopefully, the second trailer, because that was just the initial trailer, there certainly will be one more. Doesn't give away too much.
Don't worry. I'll probably end up having a lot of stuff to talk about in the next couple of months.
Speaking of rumors and stuff like that, not spoilers, but rumors, onto our kind of secondary news segment here. We've got Josh's rumor report. We got a couple things to speak on tonight as far as that. Josh, why don't you take it away with the first rumor mill story?
Rumor going around is that Kate Bishop, American Chavez, and Cassie Lang will return in Avengers 5, part of the Young Avengers. We are going to have to see what happens. Avengers 5 is shaping up to be a reintroduction for a newer team. I'm hearing rumors that Young Avengers will also be getting their own film, and I'm kind of hoping these three do show up. I think, obviously, if we do get a Young Avengers film, it's going to be a little bit different from the actual run. MCU is known for doing different takes on different movies with characters and putting certain characters up before others. And I'm really high on Kate Bishop. I loved her in Hawkeye and would love to see her more in the MCU.
Yeah, and this has been, basically since they announced Kate Bishop was coming to the MCU, when they announced the Hawkeye show, Young Avengers, since her first appearances in Young Avengers 1, and she's a major part of that team, that has been something that's been rumored, speculated on, so on and so forth. And we've heard several times, yes, they're definitely doing it. No, they're definitely not doing it. Yes, no, back and forth. Most recently, I heard a rumor that the Young Avengers show or film, whatever it was going to be, was off the table. And now we're getting information that it looks like it is. Listen, whether they call it the Young Avengers or not, we're getting a young, new group of Avengers that they're putting together for the MCU. So I don't know that they certainly need to call it that. I also said that they could call it West Coast Avengers for all I care. They could call it the Great Lake Avengers for all I care. It's just going to be a new Avengers team, and that's going to keep the MCU going because there's always going to be an Avengers team, just like there is in the comics. The team changes all the time. Same with the X-Men. Team changes all the time.
And I mean, a lot of the younger cast, obviously, they're there to help bring up some of those characters, and I'm open for it. I've even heard the possible rumor that the Young Avengers film is now morphing into a Charlotte Witch film. Okay. There's a great comic called Young Avengers: The Children's Crusade.
Children's Crusade, yeah.
So that'll be interesting. I'm hearing at San Diego Comic-Con, which I believe is 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I think it's the end of July. Might be getting some news there. So it's going to be a good week for me.
Yeah, for sure. And Tom here just mentioned Wiccan. Yes, Wiccan, who is one of Wanda's children, is going to be an Agatha. That's been confirmed.
There's actually some backlash too about him in the trailer, and some people are not happy that he's gay, and I don't understand that personally because he's gay in the comics. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. Every character is different.
People love to complain,
but like obviously you can tell who has never read the comics, and then people who like, I know what I'm talking about, and they just watch the movies and
Riri. We did get Riri. I don't think that Riri really hit hard in the MCU. I think that people loved Kate Bishop, and she's certainly going to be sticking around.
Yeah,
I don't think that Riri hit the same way. And that's okay. I mean, not every character is going to hit. I think that Kate Bishop hit really, really well. I think Kamala Khan, I've been saying this, she is the future of the MCU. I think she's going to be such a major character going forward. Riri, I could see them pivoting away from Riri. That movie, the movie was not great itself. It was okay. I liked it. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't great. And Riri's appearance was just very lackluster.
But she's getting her own show.
Apparently, I haven't heard anything about that in a long time.
All right. Well, you know what? I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna do an update on that next week. Then
let's do an update. We do have one more rumor mill story, and I think this is a really good one to talk about because we've heard some news all over the place about this. Has to do with the Captain America movie. Hit it, Josh.
So let's go back to some Brave New Worlds. So it sounds like, and John, I need you help pronouncing his name because I can't ever pronounce his name.
Giancarlo Esposito
is rumored to be playing Washington Bridge, a former S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. Now, if you're not familiar with George Washington Bridge, he was actually like an original member on Cable's team from X-Force. Now, this is very interesting. A couple days ago, after the trailer came out, he just said nobody was not able to guess who his character is.
Yeah, and I like that he said this because there's been guesses from this obscure character George Washington Bridge, who was in first appearance in X-Force 1, all the way to him playing Doctor Doom, one of the most staple characters. And there's been everything in between, including Professor X is another one that I heard. And he did say, people have not guessed it correctly yet. So it's unless he's trying to hide something, it is just not one of these situations. But we'll see. I mean, we'll see. It
could be that he will be George Washington Bridge, and he wants to keep kind of keep it mystery, or it could honestly be that he's just another character that is more of an updated modern character that you probably won't be able to find out and guess until you actually see the movie. I guess
I would rather be surprised. I'd rather go in there not knowing and be surprised that ends our news segment, but I'm going to throw something up here. Kaboom Comics says, hey, community, hit me up if you guys are going to Comic-Con. It's in my city. I assume you mean San Diego Comic-Con, which I think you put the date right here, July 25th through the 28th. So if anyone's planning on going to that, just over, a week and a half from now, hit up Kaboom Comics. He is hosting a small event where he works, which is 5 minutes away from the convention center, with some giveaways and a slab giveaway. So if you're going to San Diego Comic-Con, I unfortunately am not. I have actually never been to San Diego Comic-Con. It's on my bucket list. I'd like to go once. I'm not a big fan of the huge cons. I don't even really like New York that much, but it's so close, I might as well go to it. But I do want to go to San Diego at some point. Kaboom, just confirm that you are talking about San Diego Comic-Con.
I might go. I mean, I don't know if the cannon is gonna fly me out.
We are not. Josh, we are so far out of budget with this debacle. I'm not going to even go into it because,
it's fine.
I already have to sit here and deal with you the whole show and like suppress this anger that I have towards you at the moment.
I can feel the anger coming out of you. Yes.
Yeah. Tom says last time he was at San Diego Comic-Con was 2011. We got 13 years ago. Tom, we need you back in these United States, please. With that, we have ended the news and we are on to a couple things. We got some cool segments as always. But first, we have to say hello to our esteemed guests, all 23 million people watching the canon. Please, while I'm at it, hit the like button if you haven't done so yet. Share this on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Tinder. I don't care. Share it anywhere and let the people know. Come watch the canon. We got Dan De La Torre in the house. Felons are not supposed to be in an airplane. Josh, you're staying home. Uh-oh. We got Alexia George in the house. Hello. I got to hang out with Lexi today at First State Comic-Con. We got Kaboom Comics, like I said, in San Diego. Hit Kaboom up if you are going to San Diego Comic-Con. Check out that event that he's hosting. We got Raw Dog Comics. Hey, comic fan. We got Mr. Tom Freak coming from South America. Thanks for tuning in tonight, man. Hope you're well. We got to catch up, Tom. I know you've got some books to show me for sure. Who else we got? We got Nukes Comics in the house, as per usual, hanging out. We got Goonish Lurker, who I recently got to meet. That was a pretty cool experience out in the great state of Colorado. We've got Kate in the house, always supporting all the comic book content creation out there. We got my guy, Dr. Plagueis, by the way. Dr. Plagueis, we're going to hear from him a little bit later. We're going to hear his popcorn. It is his turn to do so, and I'm excited for that. Also, Dr. Plagueis and I, mostly Dr. Plagueis, have something in the works coming soon. We got Broke Boy Comics, a.k.a. Noah, in the house. Comes out the day before your birthday. So you're a February birthday, too. There we go. Nice. We got Nori Jordan. Glad I got my Hulk 1 9.8. Yeah, there are people FOMO buying. Don't fall for it. Who else we got? Let's see. Brian Klotz, another person that was at Delaware or First State Comic-Con today. We got to hang out a little bit. Mr. Bond, do it with me, Josh. Ready? Paul Bond. That was good. I'll give you that. That was a good first try. I'm proud of you. We got Mr. Dan De La Torre, who unfortunately is not going to be on the show tonight, acting as our judge. Josh, we've got to agree. We've got to agree on a winner for this week. It is very important.
We're going to try. I mean, we got about 23,000 submissions in.
Yeah, it wasn't quite that many, but that's okay. Immortal Scruffy in the house, tuning in from the our neighbors to the north, Canada. We got Zim Man. That is not a name that I recognize, but what's up,
sounds
Zim
like
Man?
Maybe a new person joining us tonight.
Yeah, what's up, Zim Man? I don't. Maybe you've been here before and I just don't remember, but welcome either way. Thanks for hanging out. And we got two people up top. These kind of look like some fools. The first one is Josh's Comics.
Never heard of that guy.
Let's go, but he spelled goo. So I don't know what he's thinking. And then we got 360 Comics, who apparently thinks he's in charge. Clearly you're not in
Yeah.
charge because you're not even here, buddy. But anyway, let's get on with the show. Thank you all for being here as always. Even though Jeff's not, I know Jeff is such a draw. That shininess on his head every week when he takes his hat off, it is a big draw for people. Everyone is just
got no eyebrows.
Right.
It blew up when he was doing scientific experiments at the age of 7.
I heard he does that a lot.
Oh wait, I mean he's still because isn't he still in his mom's basement? Right.
He does. He lives in his parents' basement. He's bald as a Q-tip. Wait, bald as a cue ball. Q-tip's not bald. Man, I messed it up. I was trying to make fun of Jeff, and I just look like an idiot myself. One more hello to Nikita Kare. How you doing? What is up? Hope all is well with you. And Zimman, invited from Dr. Plagueis. So, shout out Dr. Plagueis. Thanks for bringing in the homie, and welcome, Zim. All right, we are, speaking of Dr. Plagueis, going to do a popcorn now. You're going to learn a little bit about a very mysterious man. We've heard his voice. We have not yet seen his face. We've seen him on The Hunt. We've seen him posting some awesome pictures for Fresh from the Comic Shop. But are we going to see his face today? Yes.
Before we do that, get those Ask Joe CBC questions in, because after the popcorn, Joe's going to be answering some questions for you guys. So get those ready while we sit here and we find out if Doc is I don't know. I mean, is he a real doctor? Are we going to find out? Maybe.
If we see this guy on the screen and he's wearing a white lab coat and he has a stethoscope around his neck, I will be very happy. If we don't see that, I'll be okay with it too, but I'll just be exceptionally happy.
That's false advertisement though, right, Joe? I mean, you call yourself a doctor, and then
he could be a doctorate of anything. He could have like some fake doctorate, like be a dentist or something, you know. Anyway, let's get into it. And Josh, tonight you're here, so you're gonna join in the Ask Joe. It's gonna be not Ask Joe and Jeff, it's gonna be Ask Joe and Josh. So put those questions in for the two of us. And while you're thinking of those questions, please check out the popcorn of the week from none other than Dr. Plagueis. And I'm going to keep talking until I find it. I found it. Here we go.
Weird. What's up, Canon? Dr. Plagueis here, legally known as Jacob. I want to thank Mike Hacks for nominating me. Fun fact about me, I'm a lifelong martial artist. I've trained since I was 3 years old in everything from karate, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, wrestling. As a teenager, I even traveled to Japan and trained with a sword master. What the hobby means to me is everything, the friends that I've made, locally and online. It's my escape from real life, bills, the stresses. Next up, I want to nominate Spuds Comics, someone I've interacted with a little bit but would love to know more about. So they're next up.
Oh, snap. The face reveal. We finally get to see Dr. Plagueis. And this guy dropped his first name. I knew his first name already because we send each other money. We've bought stuff from each other. We've mailed each other stuff before. But yes, Dr. Plagueis, a.k.a. Jacob, coming in from the, where are you? Your Pacific Northwest, excuse me. Thank you for sharing. Definitely some cool stuff. Trained with a swords master. I did martial arts my whole childhood, teenage years into my adult years. I kind of lost interest and didn't have as much time in college, but having gone out of the country and trained with a swords master, that's
dope.
If we ever do a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan film, we're gonna need.
I did jujitsu for 8 or 9 years myself.
Yeah.
So you know what? Maybe one time back at Comic Fest, we'll get Doc, a.k.a. Jacob, to come out and put a little moves on him or something and do some kind of videos, you know?
Right. And, for real, that intro as well with the whole...
I love you. And very,
very well done.
his
awesome.
On the Hunt, his video skills are phenomenal. If you guys haven't already, check out previous On the Hunt videos on his Instagram. He is like top tier, and he needs to get on YouTube. He's been talking about it. He needs to get on here, and he needs to make his own channel. I'm telling you, this man is gold.
Yeah, I'm loving the On the Hunt videos and the the other stuff, and he's dipped his toe into selling some stuff as well, which is pretty cool. And I bought off him a couple times. Dr. Plague is a great member of the community, that's for sure. He's doing some cool stuff. Not only great posts, but also promoting other people. He's the sticker guy now. A lot of people have gotten stickers and stuff from him. I think Paul got like a whole tablecloth, which I need to get on. He's saying he will attend Back Deck Comic Fest someday, so I'm gonna hold you to that, my man.
Yeah, I will too, because I attend them all the time. So
yeah, that's pretty cool. And yeah, here we got Lexi in the chat right now. Spud Comics is the next participant in the popcorn segment. So yeah, by next week we'll reach out to you, Lexi, and we'll get you all set up with how to do that and submit a video for us. And yeah, next week we'll hear from Lexi, aka Spud Comics. Go give her a follow on Instagram. Great, we got some Ask Joes coming in the chat. Looks like Lexi's putting one in. But yeah, first, I mean, before we answer the questions, though, we need to do a very important part of the show, and that is this phenomenal theme music that Jeff so graciously created. By the way, shout out to Jeff. He's not here right now, and I'm going to be nice to him only because he's not here to hear it. But shout out to Jeff, because all the graphics you see, all the video clips, all the music, everything, that's all Jeff. The biggest thing that I've contributed to this show is this right here. And that is going to be my legacy here on Comic Book Canon. But let's get in to the next segment. It's called Ask Joe and Jeff. Ask Joe and Josh this week. Put your questions in the chat below. Hashtag Ask Joe CBC, or Ask Joe and Jeff CBC, or Ask Joe and Jeff and Josh, or Josh and Jeff and Joe, and whatever you want to do, put it in the chat. And Lexi just said, Back Deck Comic Fest needs to happen in a cooler season. Yes, I did. Yeah. I should mention this because I just made this final decision this week. It has been so freaking hot this summer. I am going to be not postponing. I'm going to not be doing a summer Back Deck Comic Fest. Normally I do one at the end of July. We're halfway through July and the heat is not letting up. I'm going to wait and we're going to do a fall one. That being said, if you do live in my area, you can attend Vatican this coming weekend, this coming Saturday, which message me on Instagram if you do live in the area and you want to come to Vatican. It's a slightly secret event hosted by a member of this community. I'm not going to say much more than that, but if you live in the area and you want to come, just send me a message on Instagram.
It's funny because like at the con we were at today, I don't know if they didn't have AC running or if it's just because they left the doors open. But man, I was starting to get hot in there a little bit towards the end before we left.
Yeah, and the crazy thing was you walk outside and you're like, whoa, it's even hotter out here. Like I was sweating inside, and then I walked outside, and walking from the inside of the building to my car, I got I was
like on the other side of the building, and like when we were standing at Frankenstein Comics booth talking with him, I was getting hot, just like, so like I said, I don't know if it's because they left the doors open or there was no AC or there's just so many people in the room taking up the cold, so
yeah. And come to Vermont and in December. I don't know about in December.
I'm gonna be cold.
Yeah. I'll go as far as Connecticut. I do the 3
I would love to see a 360 Comics like band tour or something. You go to every state
60 Comics World Tour. Boom, 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 boom. Buy your comics from Joe
Look,
wherever he goes.
we sell comics during the day and then karaoke at night.
Ooh, now you're talking my language, Joshua. Anyway, let's get into the first question. We got a couple of them rolling in. Feel free to put them in the chat. First one is from Lexi, aka Spud Comics. Let's see. Anyway, ask Joe and Josh. Josh, you got the lowercase tiny font. This one's for Joe, but how iconic was it to meet me again? And for both of you, what was your favorite pickup of the day? Well, it was definitely iconic. I'm glad we got our picture together today. And as far as what my favorite pickup of the day was, you're gonna see it later. All three books for my Fresh from the Comic Shop were acquired by me today. Whether I purchased them previously and then physically got them today, or if I actually found them today. So you're gonna have to wait for that one. Because I don't want to give away my Fresh from the Comic Shop, but it's a cool book. Josh, do you have something today?
I'm gonna say the same thing. I got 3 fresh gets from today's con that were my 3 favorite books, so I'm not gonna give them away. We'll find out later tonight.
Yeah. I found some pretty cool things. Definitely the coolest is in the bunch. I will say I did get a couple books from my personal collection from a comic shop down there. Shout out Comic Mania in Delaware. I had bought stuff from them on their Instagram sale, and I said, hey, I'm going to be down in Delaware. Let me pick them up in person. And they didn't have to ship them. I didn't have to pay shipping. So yeah, that's looking
Works
good.
out.
Next question from Brian Klotz, another person that attended that con today. We got Ask Joe and Josh CBC, what was your favorite book you bought just before it got super hot for spec and FOMO? I got a good one for this because I was specking on this book when no one was specking on this book. And this was the deepest dive that I ever had that actually blew up and actually became a pretty expensive book for a while. And that was Avengers Annual 21. Yeah. When they announced Kang in the MCU, when we got word that Kang was coming to the MCU, I was just thinking about Kang keys and I forget what year it was, 1993 maybe. The annual crossover was Citizen Kang, a play on Citizen Kane. And it was a crossover between a bunch of the titles and specifically the Avengers book, annual number 21. 21, right? 23?
21.
It has the first appearance of Kang as Victor Timely, who is a human on Earth, a businessman actually in that realm. In the comic books. Now they changed the character a little bit. They made him like an inventor kind of guy, but they kept the name Richard Timely. And my thought was, okay, if they're going to do Kang, they have to put him on Earth at some point. This will be the Kang variant that's on Earth. That makes sense. He blends in with the humans and stuff like that. He won't raise too much suspicion. That is going to be the Kang that we see. And lo and behold, I was right. I was pulling that book out of dollar bins for the longest time, and I saw sales online that were like $40 for that book at points. And
I believe it.
Yeah, I didn't sell it for $40, but I sold a bunch of them. People were buying them, and
I bought one from you.
There you go. Josh bought one from me. It's still a key that people still search up. It's not in dollar bins anymore. It's still something that people look for, and that was kind of the deepest cut spec. Josh, what about you?
So I haven't been collecting enough to buy a book and spec on it and it come true. I can tell you a couple of books that I've bought that I'm specking on that I think might pay off in the future. Was that kind of work out for the question?
Yeah, why don't you do one of those? What give us one book you're specking on.
So you probably know what book I'm thinking, and all new, all different Avengers. I just, Secret Wars is coming up. We at some point, obviously, the MCU is going to hit a bit of a reset button, and we've kind of already have most of the all new, all different Avengers roster in the MCU, and depending on how things play out, So I'm specking on all new, all different Avengers #1.
Okay.
I legit have probably 5 to 8 copies right now.
Mhm.
A couple of new mint ones that I want to send in and get slapped. Who knows? Maybe I'll be a billionaire at the end of the year or the next couple of years. It's also the first appearance of another Kang variant.
Mhm.
Forget his name, but he's got a lot of money. And the rumor kind of is that we don't know who bought Shark Tower yet, or the Avengers Tower.
Yeah.
And that character might be possibly appearing down the line. So that's a book
Okay.
I'm kind of specking on. And, you know, I think it's fun in this community to do this, to get books that you feel like, hey, could be something down the line.
Yeah, for sure. Even if and the best part about doing it from with like, you know, dollar bin books and stuff like that is even if you're wrong, you
you don't lose.
end up with a dollar comic. You know, even if the book is worthless, quote unquote worthless, you lost $1. Specking on books that are hundreds of dollars,
Oh yeah,
that's a lot riskier than specking on, you know, a dollar bin book. I love that. I love searching more obscure keys and trying to hit the nail on the head. Paul said he thought it was Dazzler 1 for me. For those of you who don't know, I bought 400 copies of Dazzler 1, like well before the rumors started. And I honestly, I still have over 200 of them. I really didn't sell nearly
you're selling
enough.
them. I'm sure, you know.
They sell. They sell, yeah.
I'm sure they're going to go eventually. A couple years, 10, 20, maybe.
Yeah. All right, we'll see. I'll probably have them forever. Next question, we got Goonish Lurker, Joe and Josh. What is your favorite non-top 3 publishers? So what? No Marvel, no DC, no Image. What is your favorite publisher? Mine's easy. Mine's very easy. You think about it. I'll talk about mine. Mine is mine's EC, and I know they're not around anymore, but they kind of are because they're coming back. The EC Comics are coming back. They're doing another line of horror comics, and I have a feeling, you know, that is going to be, you know, my favorite current one because I am really into that pre-code horror stuff, and they're reviving that. And they're judging by what it looks like and how they're advertising it. I think they're going to do a really good job at paying homage to the pre-code horror era of the early 1950s when EC was just churning out gold. Just absolute awesome stuff that is worth a considerable amount of money today still. Josh, what about you?
I'm gonna go with Dynamite.
Dynamite's a good one. Dynamite's great
because
they did The Boys. They license a lot of stuff. If you're into, you know, various Disney properties, they do a bunch of those. It doesn't hurt that we have a buddy, Alex, that works for the company. Works for Dynamite and Dynamic Forces. But yeah, shout out Nick Barucci, a great member. Not only is he, you know, the publisher and owner of Dynamite, but also a really good member of the community. That guy does a lot for the community. Shout out to the Experience YouTube channel that he's associated with that I'm on Wednesdays doing my sales. And he, you know, recently has been really helping out a local Philly shop that's been struggling financially, and hopefully we'll get some good news out of that at some point soon. There's some great stuff in the comments. People talking Dark Horse, of course, definitely known for a lot of their darker stuff, as well as, of course, their Star Wars content.
I was gonna say another one. I forget if it's called A1 Comics. They did the Marvel and DC like Dark Crawl.
You're talking about Amalgam.
Yes.
Yeah, Amalgam. It was Marvel and DC owned it.
So it doesn't. Okay. Right, never mind.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that was just a collaborative effort.
But Dark Horse is another one that's actually, they did some great Star Wars stuff, man.
Oh yeah,
like
for sure.
Original Star Wars stuff. Whew.
Yeah. They really expanded the universe quite a bit. Tom's saying Fantagraphics, of course, solid stuff. Usagi Yojimbo, shout out Stan Sakai, and Slave Labor Graphics. SLG. There's a lot of good content. And there's another. Devil's Due publisher is another smaller one that did a lot of horror stuff. You know, the first one that came to mind to me was EC, but You know, these are all great. You know, it's always good to check out those smaller publishers because a lot of that content really flies pretty far under the radar.
Yeah.
On to the next question. We got Kaboom Comics. Ask Joe and Josh, what do you guys think of a live action of that Punisher versus Dakin, where Punisher becomes Frankencastle? So yeah, there's a run of Punisher from mid 2000s, I think, and at one point he basically gets zombified, turns into like a Frankenstein-esque character called Frankencastle. A live action of that would be hard to pull off, in my opinion. Hard to pull off well. I think they could do much better with an animated version of that.
Yeah,
and just make it like I'm talking about like adult animated, not for kids. You know, it's the Punisher to begin with, first of all, and you know, think more like kind of like the Harley Quinn animated show, like an adult maturity show. They could make it violent. They could make it kind of like Invincible level violent. Be really perfect in my opinion for that run.
I just don't think live. I mean, even if Marvel put the money into it, I don't think it would sell to people. Like, you know what I mean? I don't think it would do well. But hey, you know, like you said, put it in animation form, put it on Disney Plus. I'm sure a lot more people tune in and watch it.
Yeah, just put it on for Disney Plus for children. Now that might be one that they I guess they're not outsourcing to Netflix anymore. Maybe they would just put on Disney Plus with some watch parameters on it. Anyway, we got one from Niner Foxtrot. I have what I think is a 6.0 copy of Batman 222 with the Beatles. Awesome book. Neil Adams cover for those of you who don't know, and a very sought after book as well. Like sneaky pricey that for a book that doesn't have a first appearance. Unfortunately, the bottom staple is popped. How much will CGC ding me on that one? So if it looks like a 6.0 before the staple, like if the staple were attached, I unfortunately think that it's going to bump it down pretty low. The lower grade you go, the less that affects the grade. But with a 6.0 copy, a fine copy, it's definitely going to go at least down to a 5.0. I honestly think it could go as low as a 4.0. Personally, unless you really want it graded, I probably wouldn't get that one graded. Again, that's just my 2 cents on it. But yeah, you could always consult. There is a CGC guidebook, and I don't have it memorized, but there is a guidebook. Oh, you have it.
Okay, guys, this is not working well with my back.
There you go. Put it in front of your body. If you put it in front of your body, it should work.
So let's see real quick.
Yeah, see if you can find anything on that, Josh. I'm going to go to the next question, but see if there's anything for detached staples. I would think between 1 and 2 grade points going from a 6.0. Maybe Paul Bond can weigh in on that as well because he's got a lot of submission experience. Next up, Broke Boy Comics. Is it confirmed we'll be seeing a certain group of awesome guys take a trip to Terrificon? As of right now, yes. I am 90% sure, 90 to 95% sure that I will be at Terrificon. Josh, we spoke today. You said you want to do the day trip on Saturday. Mike is also 90% Popa Chili Town. So it is looking good. We can get a nice full car, head up to Connecticut. It's about a little under a 4-hour drive from us in the Philadelphia area. A little bit longer from Josh coming from Delaware. And yes, Terrificon, it is on Saturday of Terrificon. If you can make it, come hang out, please. Josh, what are you saying?
All right, so I got a stapled detached. So you can get a grade range anywhere from a 5.0 to a 9.0. A fully detached cover. Now, hold on. Let's see. All right, so let's just say if you got like a 9.8, a 9.6 copy, a fully detached from one staple will usually not grade higher than a 7.0 or a 7.5. So according to this, it sounds like you're right. I mean, if that book is a 6.0 to begin with, your grade's probably going to go down a little bit. Even if you have a 9.8 looking copy, it sounds like you're going to automatically be already down quite a bit significant. So, yeah. And Paul Bond's a expert in sending to CGC right now.
Yeah.
So I would also listen to his advice and say that, it's not going to work out well, and you're better off keeping it raw.
Yeah, I mean that's just my opinion. Keep it raw, but like if you just want it in the slab, kind of take what me and Paul are saying here. We seem to both agree that a book that is probably about a 6.0 will drop somewhere between a 4 and a 5. You're probably not gonna get lucky and get a 5.5. It'll probably be a 5 at best, could be a 4 at worst. Look who's in the house. Jeff tuning in from somewhere on Spaceship Earth. That guy is out and about. Like I said, I think I heard that he has a something related to a meeting with a company called Cyberdyne, and something about Chet and I don't know. I think we're gonna need to see what happens when he gets back next week. Jeff, hope all is well with you. We missed you, but at the same time, we are kind of glad you're not here because we needed a little break. That's just the honest truth. The honest truth. On to the last question, at least the last question that I see. So get them in if you haven't done so yet. With all the CGC problems with slabs, what do y'all think about CBCS? Or do you still feel CGC is good for slab books? I'm still pro CGC, especially over CBCS. Now that CGC verifies signatures, I don't see anything that CGC has over CBCS other than there's a slightly lower price for CBCS. I would rather pay up for CGC though, personally, but there are other companies. I do not recommend PGX for any reason. They've shown that they're not a good company for many reasons, but of course our sponsor of the show, EGS, and not just saying that because they sponsor Fresh from the Comic Shop. I'm saying this because I do believe in their product. EGS does custom labels. So if you are a collector that likes to have stuff color coordinated, if you like to display your comics and have it like really, really pop and look nice, I think EGS is a great option. If you're someone that does not trust CGC, might be a great option for you to go with them. Dan De La Torre speaks very highly of them every week. He's pretty much slamming his whole collection with EGS. Josh, do you want to weigh in on this?
I don't have I bought many slabs. I have only sent in twice to CGC, and I plan on doing more this year. But me personally, I prefer CGC over CBCS. And like you said, with verification and signature now, there's no reason not to. CGC, it's hit or miss sometimes. There are problems, but you're going to have that anywhere. I just feel like with CGC, they've been around really since the beginning. So I'll send to them. But like you just said, EGS is also an excellent thing, especially not even, if you just want to get some really cool looking books and you're not looking for resale books.
Yeah.
Do it. I mean, they got some awesome custom logos and stuff for the slab. So
yeah, some good stuff. We'll talk a little bit more about EGS in a little bit. We do have a little confirmation. The CGC board says it's a minimum 1 point deduction. So yeah, going from a 6.0, it's minimally probably going to be a 5.0, which is what I said. Oh God, Josh, do we let him in?
No, no.
Are we gonna just
ignore this guy?
Hold on. Let's finish up with this segment, and then we'll give him his glory for a minute. Oh, Jesus, I thought we were rid of this guy for the week, but of course. Ugh. All right, that seems to be the end of Ask Joe. We looks good. We're all caught up on questions. So now we will end this segment with this. Ask Joe and Jeff. Speaking of and Jeff,
God,
I can't believe you guys are doing the show without me. I'm on a very important assignment on location, and I told you not to do the show without me. I see that beautiful thumbnail you did. You're doing the show without me. Hurts my feelings. I don't trust. I've lost trust in you guys. I've lost any faith in that this show is going to be something more than it can be, than it is right now, because you guys are bringing it down.
Jeff, You told us you were taking the week off. You said do the show without us.
I don't remember that.
Well, listen, has your brain been tampered with?
No, you know what? I'll be honest with you. I'm watching the show. I did say I wasn't able to do it, but I see you guys having so much fun, and it hurts that I'm not there. So that's why I'm calling in right now.
Where are you?
I am in Silicon Valley. You had that right. That's a fact.
Interesting. Yeah, we'll have to talk about your experience with meeting with Cyberdyne when you get back.
I have a few meetings going on. I can't really discuss with you guys right now, as you know, because we're broadcasting a show. But yeah,
I think it's more Cybernet, actually.
Okay, let me tell you something. Things are actually happening, and we can. It's pretty.
Yeah, thank you for cutting him off.
I didn't do that. No, I did not do that.
Well, look, next time he comes in, since he keeps cutting me off every time when I talk when you guys bring me on, just start cutting him off, Joe.
That was freaky. I don't know where Jeff went. He like completely. That wasn't me kicking him off. That was him completely detaching. And did you see it kind of like it got glitchy right before he left?
Hey, you know what? It's probably the FBI or the Cyberdome, Cybernet, wherever he's at. They probably don't want him broadcasting from location. So,
you know. Hold on a second. Tiffany was hiding behind a tree. Do you think she got him?
She did say that she was going to try helping me out this weekend. And I asked what that meant. And she's like, don't worry. I'm going to take care of the cannon for you. I thought that meant like my cannon. I mean, what else was I supposed to think?
Yeah, I don't know. All I can see is the headline now. Saved by the Bell star Tiffany Amber Thiessen charged with manslaughter after.
Well, now come on. Let's send the manslaughter. We don't even know what happened. I mean, he could have just lost connection here, Joe. We don't know.
She's barricaded herself into her home with a comic book YouTube personality. Where details are emerging, so on and so forth.
We'll find out.
All right. So that ends Ask Joe. We got a brief little appearance from Jeff. Let's see. We got
the last appearance of Jeff. We will ever see too.
Maybe. Hopefully not. On to the next and last segment for the day. I gotta hold on 1 second. I gotta figure out what's going on here. But there we go. Okay, cool. Josh, usually I help Jeff out with this.
Yeah.
There's a segment that we do. It's the last segment we do every week. I really like it. I think it's really cool. Normally Jeff doesn't remember what it's called, and This week I'm having a hard time. What is this segment called?
I think it's Josh's Comic Shop.
No, Josh.
You sure? No?
Hold on a second. He had one job, guys. He had one freaking job, Josh. I have no one else on here, so I got to give him another try. God damn it. Amateurs. Josh, what's the segment called?
It's something fresh. I know that,
Fresh like, what, Josh?
Could it be fresh from the comic shop?
Live from the pressing salon. Here we are on Comic Book Canon. You submit your books every week with the hashtag FFTCS, fresh from the comic shop. Post your pictures on Instagram with that hashtag. Yeah. Of course, tag Comic Book Canon and tag 360 Comics. You can tag Josh too while you're at it. Why not? Tag whoever you want and show off your fresh gets, whether that book is brand new or 30 years old. As long as it's new to your collection, it counts as being fresh from the comic shop. We want to see what you got, and you can be chosen. you can be chosen as the winner of the week, and you can even earn a slab if you win the month. We have some mighty fine people who have won so far this year. Going all the way back to January, we had Mike Haggs. February, we had Dr. Plagueis, Mons Comics in March, Nukes Comics in April, Kaboom in May, and June Super Crispy Comics. Very tough. And in fact, we had a semifinals win this week. So this was between, if I remember correctly, this was Raising Elm and Nori Jordan. And Nori Jordan did win with 56% of the vote. Nori Jordan will be moving on to the finals for the month of June. And we'll have to pick a new winner this week who will go up against whoever wins the last week of the month. And they will battle head-to-head against Nori Jordan in the finals to win this awesome book, which is boom, Swamp Thing number 15. This beautiful cover. This book was given to us by the one and only Spider Dude Comics. They submit the book, and it gets graded by EGS Comics, our two sponsors here. Spider Dude submits the book. EGS grades the book, gives it a beautiful custom label, puts it in one of their proprietary slabs. Whoa, that's a word I don't say often. And they give it to us to give away. So the book of July, look at this thing. Absolutely beautiful. Swamp Thing with that, again, that custom label, the little bit of red coloring on the eyes matches the grade. And of course, the label up top is the same dark green on the slab. This is freaking cool. Love this book. And it is the book of the month. Remember, hashtag FFTCS. Use that to enter. We didn't have too many submissions this week, right, Josh?
Yeah, I don't know what is going on here, folks, but please, feel free to enter. If you have any questions and you're not sure if you did it right, you can reach out to Comic Book Canon, 360 Comics. You can even reach out to me, and we will help you guys get your submissions in and, just have fun with it. Yeah.
And, for real, make sure you tag us. That's important. The hashtag does not do very well for us. So definitely try to
but
make
don't
sure
just tag in the photo. So at the end, you can write your caption and then you can tag in the picture.
Yeah.
Right before you go to post the actual picture in the submission, you can actually go where it says tag people. Do it like that as well. I kind of feel like that's what's happening is not everybody is tagging like that. So maybe we should do an updated video showing exactly how to do it in the future or something.
Yeah.
I've had people, And
Kaboom said my submission was late. All good, man. Try to get it in. I always tell people, if you get it in like by Saturday, I always tell people, just do it during the week. Do it during the week to definitely get in. I think Jeff cuts it off Saturday at 5 p.m.
I think it's Sunday.
It's Sunday at 5? Oh, Sunday at 5 p.m.
Yeah, because I've done that before.
Okay.
But I do recommend, guys, if you can do it Saturday. That way, don't forget. If you don't hear anything by midday Sunday, like I said, reach out to the three of us, and we'll see what's going on.
Yeah, feel free up to 5 o'clock, and we'll do our best to get it on the show. Earlier the better, though. It's easier for us to handle that and get it all set up. Jeff does a lot of work every week to make sure that we get all the things we need. Let's get into it, Josh. We have 3 criteria. I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to ask you to describe one of the criteria. I'm going to go with the first one. The first one is we want to see something that is aesthetically pleasing. We want to see with our eyeballs. And we want it to make us feel something on the inside. We want it to be like, wow, oh, that looks cool. We don't want to see your comic book lying there on, your kitchen counter that has food stuck to it and, cat hair all over it from your cat drinking out of the sink. We don't want to see that. We don't want to see it being on the floor of your bathroom with your toenail clippings all around it and your dirty feet disgusting, on the ground. That's not what we want to see. We want to see
my grandmom's rug. Mention my grandmom's rug.
Yeah,
too.
mention Josh's his grandma's sheets, right? On the bed. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was rug and then sheets, but whatever, it's all the same.
Don't put it in the bathtub unless that has to do with the story. If you're doing an Aquaman book, okay, put it in the bathtub. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
We want to see something cool. Use cool lighting. Use some props. Put it with another book that has to do with it. We want it to be aesthetically pleasing to the eye. Make it look great. It's the standard for the show. Raising Elm does a great job of this. If you've never seen his stuff, check it out. Josh, the second criteria, we want to see something unique. Josh, what unique?
What does that mean? What can unique mean? Now, most people are probably thinking unique. Oh, I need $100 million book, or maybe a 360 Comics exclusive con variant, which will never happen because he doesn't believe in that. Or unique can mean something that could be as simple as a dollar book. It's got to have a story behind it. Unique can mean different things. It could be a book that pre-code horror, maybe something that is just hard to find. Maybe not expensive, maybe it is, but we've never seen it before. Maybe it is a crazy first appearance of a non-known character, but it means something to you. Mm-hmm. Perhaps unique means like finding a double cover.
Ooh, we love a double cover here on Comic Book
Especially you, but maybe find the first ever quadruple cover comic.
I've seen them before. I've seen them before.
All right, well, then maybe find the 10th cover variant. That's what unique means to the show. Again, it doesn't need to be a lot of money. It's just something that we haven't seen before. If you show me, like, I don't know, what's a book that everybody has in their collection?
X-Force #1, first appearance of George Washington Bridge.
So let's just say you go to X-Force #1, you buy it off eBay for like $130 right now because this is the game. Hold on, work with me, Jeff. Ready? Oh, sorry, Joe. Work with me, Joe. I'm thinking you're Jeff. I mean, but you look better than Jeff, right? Anyway, so if you buy X-Force #1, all right, everybody has that in their collection. Show us something unique. Show us something that we haven't seen before.
True.
Or a different variant cover.
Ooh, we like it. Whatever you want to do, make it something that stands out to us for some reason or another. Anyway, does the first appearance of Dr. Bong count? Yeah, Howard the Duck 15. I'm big on that book, man. Howard the Duck 15. When they do a Howard the Duck movie, I assume we're going to see Dr. Bong. So I have like 10 copies of that book sitting in my storage unit. Anyway, on to the third criteria, the third and final criteria. We want you to pull at our heartstrings. We want you to tell us a story about this book. Tell us what this book means to you, what it took you to get it, how you acquired it, whatever it may be. Just pull at our heartstrings. Tell us a story. Not make, because we don't want to make something up. We want you to tell us something about the book significant to you and your life. Maybe you were on a business trip for work. You had to go somewhere and you had to meet with a company. I don't know what that company's name was. It could be like Cyberdyne or something. Mm-hmm. And while you're there, while you're on this business trip, you brought some comic books with you. You brought some of your favorite comic books with you. In fact, one of your absolute favorite comic books of all time is Howard the Duck 15, the first appearance of Dr. Bong. And you brought that book and you were like, I'm going to read that. I can't wait. I'm going to go back to my hotel room when all my work is done. I'm going to crack open some Dr. Bong. I'm going to read this. It's going to be great. It'll get me nice and sleepy before I go to bed, all this stuff. And you do. And you know what? You're back in your hotel and you're reading this book and suddenly something happens. Maybe it has to do with Cyberdyne. Maybe it doesn't have to do with Cyberdyne, but you get sucked into the Matrix. It's not the first time you've been there, but you're kind of freaking out. Now, the comic you had in your hand, because it was in your hand, it's going with you into the Matrix. And unfortunately, when you're in the Matrix fighting your way out, you put the comic down and you leave it in the Matrix. Your comic book has just turned into an NFT. And we don't like NFTs. That stuff's dumb. Anyway, you said, man, my favorite comic book, stuck in the Matrix, turned into an NFT. This is a load of baloney. But you know what? I got an adult job, maybe possibly with Cyberdyne. I've got some adult money. You know what I should do? I should buy a Howard the Duck 14. And you
Yeah.
go looking for it, comic store doesn't have it. You go down the street to another comic store, they don't have it. You check on eBay and people are just asking crazy prices. You don't want to pay up that much, but then you go to a con and one day you're digging in some Bronze Age goodness, and you find for just $1 that first appearance of Dr. Bong. You pull that out and you said, man, mine used to be an NFT or turned into an NFT. And then everyone looks at you really weird and you kind of get embarrassed and you shuffle away, pay the person, and you go home and you crack that book open and you read it. And that book is so important to you now that you have it back. That is the kind of pull up the heartstrings story that we want to hear. Anyway, that definitely doesn't have to do with Jeff at all or anything like that.
No.
Definitely not related. But yeah, let's move on. Now that you know the parameters, let's check out not a lot of books, but Josh and I, don't worry, we're gonna do the 3 books that were submitted this week, and then Josh and I are gonna show 3 things that we got each at the con that we went to today. Let's kick it off with the man, the myth, the legend himself, Goonish Lurker. Ba, ba, ba. Last Saturday, I had the opportunity to go to Denver Fan Expo, which I unfortunately missed by a week when I was visiting Denver. Got to meet the extraordinary Ben Temple-Smith. Love this. For the second time, he's such a great guy who took the time to chat with me and my partner. Shout out Frost Behemoth. I've loved his work since I discovered it through his work on Fell and 30 Days of Night. One of my favorites. He signed his Lobo exclusive cover for the Omega Men 3. Frost Behemoth suggested he add the little heart to ensure it was all in good fun. On the side note, I picked up these sweet candles at Fan Expo as well. So we got a great story here. We've got this awesome book. We've got some candles that were picked up at the same show, a little decor here. I definitely like this post. I'm definitely feeling it. Shout out Ben Temple-Smith. This is definitely unique.
Yeah,
we got a definitely a unique book. Not only is it a variant cover of a book that we all know and love, first appearance of Lobo. It's also signed by the artist, and it's got a great story behind it. Love it.
I like it. I really I love Danny, so I'm glad to see him on there, and
yeah,
I think we might have a contender.
Well, we only have 3 options. Goonish Lurker is eligible for Fresh from the Comic Shop. You have to be eligible to win, and this next one is eligible too. We've got Raising Elm. Raising Elm said, "Howdy, comic fam, with an M. I've got my big exam this Friday to focus on, quote unquote, focus on. So I will be brief. For Fresh from the Comic Shop, hot off the presses comes this issue of Action Comics 1067. So this is a brand new book that just came out. And I don't typically buy or read DC Comics. However, the cover art just gives off this crime/drama noir vibe, which I can appreciate. I may just adjust the lens through which I look at DC Comics because this was a great read. Much love, comic fam. Next week's forecast, quote unquote, bright, sunny, and optimistic. Ooh, so maybe a little foreshadowing on what is to come next week. This is definitely a really, really cool submission. Definitely, a really cool shot through the glasses here. Love that. And we often see Clark Kent taking off his glasses as he transitions to Superman. And this kind of is almost like a POV, Superman taking off his glasses. Josh, you're a DC guy. What do you think about this?
You know what, man, not even for DC, but this is what we were just talking about. Like a well-composed shot. Raising Elm sets the bar every submission. Even if he wins, he sets the bar so high. I love this submission. I just find it so unique. And, having the POV of the glasses and then obviously having newspaper articles in the background due to Clark being a reporter. I love this thing, man. It's an amazing job and another very well done shot from Raising Elm.
Yeah, for sure. We had a question of what makes someone eligible. That just means you haven't won yet. If you won for the year, we don't let you win 2 months out of the same year. We reset every year. So if you've won, which you haven't, you're definitely eligible, Lexi. Submit away. CC Lutz, how you CC Lutz? I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but how you doing? Hope all is well with you. Moving on to our last fresh from the comic shop submission, and then Josh and I are going to show off our stuff. We've got Nori Jordan. Now, this one is not eligible. Nori Jordan is already in the finals for this month. Despite not having won a previous month, he's already in the finals, so cannot win again. Nori Jordan had to say this about his submission. It has been a busy week, but I try to always make time for a fresh from the comic shop submission. Recently, I picked up a nice Marvel 2-in-1 number 54 CGC 9.6. I already had 4 copies of this book, but they are low grade. This is the first appearance of the Grapplers and, most important, Screaming Mimi, who becomes Songbird from the Thunderbolts. She's an original member of the team, shout out Hulk 449, who was consistently present on future teams as well. Maybe the MCU can find a place for her someday. Take care, everyone. Jordan, this is an awesome submission. Great book. Not only you have that 9.6 copy you picked up, but you also have the 4 other copies. I actually thought that this was you just used a picture and you duplicated it. It's really cool that you actually own all 4 copies that are behind.
Yeah, I really like this, and I am not surprised that his submission is another character for Thunderbolts, honestly.
Yeah, of course.
Seems to be like the tale of the tales around here, but I do like that he's showing off and flexing that he not only has 5 copies, he has a 9.6 and then 4 other raw copies. So maybe down the road he'll submit those and have all 9.65 copies.
Yeah. Pretty freaking cool. Well, he said his other copies are lower grade, but that is pretty cool. Now, we're going to come back to those in a second because we have to pick a winner. But while we debate the winner, Josh and I are going to go back and forth, and we're going to show off a couple books that we got today in various places. Now, I mentioned earlier I stopped by a comic store, Comic Mania in Delaware.
My hometown.
Your home court there, Josh. And I had already bought a bunch of stuff. I actually bundled together a Silver Age ASM lot with them a couple weeks ago, actually just before I left for Denver. And I said, hold on to it for me for a little bit. I'm going to come to Delaware. I'm going to pick them up in person. You don't have to worry about shipping. And I went down and got it. Now, this is kind of the hallmark book of that lot. I think it was like, I don't know, 11 or 12 Silver Age ASM books. And some of them are going to be higher grades than I have already, and they're going to stay in the PC.
Nice upgrades.
Other ones that I got to compare them and see, and if they're not an upgrade, then I'm just going to sell them. This one is definitely a keeper. This is the nicest copy of this book I've ever owned. Amazing Spider-Man number 39. This is the first John Romita Sr. on Amazing Spider-Man. Not only that, it's the issue where Peter finds out that Norman is the Green Goblin, and Norman finds out that Peter is Spider-Man. It is a massively key, significant book, not only from what happens in the story, but also the creator, John Romita Jr., who quintessentially, he didn't create Spider-Man. The artist was Steve Ditko, and Jack Kirby had a hand in it as well. But he took Spider-Man and his appearance to the next level. He did a ton of stuff, upgrades to the character's appearance, and really, he's the quintessential artist for Spider-Man, in my opinion. And I think a lot of people will agree with that. In my opinion, even more so than Tom McFarlane or Mark Bagley, which is saying a ton. He did a ton of work, and this is, again, his first Amazing Spider-Man artwork. Very stoked to have this. This thing is so nice. They had it marked at a Fine Plus, which is a 6.0. 6.5. I personally think this is a 7.0 or 7.5. I think they undergraded a little bit, which always great when people do that. Either way, it's a keeper for me for sure.
Yeah.
So, Josh, on to your first book.
So, my first why I did pick this book up today, I technically claimed it last night from you, my good friend. So this is Harley Quinn, issue number 9.
Nice.
And this is a
Josh,
Terry
hold it in
Dodson.
front. Hold it in front of your body and your head.
There we go. So this
Yeah,
is a
yeah.
this is a Terry Dodson cover.
Oh,
Who's
Terry
that?
Dodson's so good.
And this is actually a just really great cover appearance of Bud and Lou, who is Harley's pets. On I
Hyenas,
love
right?
this cover. Yeah, I love
Yeah.
it. I love this cover. I believe their first actual appearance is like in, I don't know if it's Mad Love, but one of the annuals or something like
Yeah.
that. But great cover, and I actually already have a copy. But I think this is a higher grade copy. Same thing. I'll have to look, and I think one I may potentially be sending in, and I think one might be going to a giveaway on one of my
Ooh,
channels.
okay.
So we'll see. So
Josh,
I'm
can you
happy to.
hold it up closer to the camera because it's harder to see. Hold it up higher though. Yeah. Josh is in a different location, but he wanted to look like he's still in the same room that he normally is. So he used it. This is a genius
This
move
is
here,
bad.
using that background.
Yeah.
Very cool, Josh. Awesome. All right, on to my second book. This was a really cool flea market find. I walked up and a guy had like a little stack of comics about this big on the table. And I said, started looking through them. They were all just beat late 80s, early 90s non-keys.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll pass. And he goes, oh, I also got this one. And he pointed in his case. And he's like, I thought this one was the better one. That's a good flea market. That's a good flea market find, right? Now, this is a third printing, and not only is it a third printing, it is pretty low grade. The centerfold's detached. It's got lots of spine ticks. But finding this book at a flea market is awesome. Like, how cool is that? Todd McFarlane, classic cover, one of the most famous Todd McFarlane covers, certainly his most famous DC cover. And I got it for a decent price. Room for me. I didn't pay $1 or anything for it. Definitely a lot more than that, but there's still some room on it. I have my copy already for my PC, so that will go on to someone else.
I got a bit of a confession, Joe. I'm a huge Batman fan. You know that. I just don't see the biggest appeal for that cover. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of it. Like, it's a good cover, but it's not something that I feel like I would want to drop big money for a high grade copy. You know what I mean? It's just kind of weird.
Yeah. In my opinion,
Todd Father, Todd does great covers and stuff.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like at the same time, it's a bit for a cover. It's just a bit overpriced.
Yeah. I mean, I get the appeal. It's definitely a very aesthetically pleasing cover. It's Todd McFarlane, who did a lot for comics, doing Batman and doing his own style of Batman, which is really cool. I get it. In my opinion, there's a book that came out about the same time that has a better cover, and it's a key significant book, and it also has a really monumental comic creator that did the art. It's Detective Comics. I forget what issue. I think it's like 534, 539, 536. It's the first appearance of Scarface and Ventriloquist.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's a Mike Mignola cover. It's an orange background, and it's got Batman front and center
with the cape and
man.
In
my opinion, and this is again just my opinion, that cover is better than that one. And it's got a bigger piece and it's Mike Mignola, who has done so much for comics. So that's just my opinion that one is better, and it came out probably within a few months. Like they're very similar time periods. But either way, I mean, that one certainly is still a very collectible book.
Josh, it's so great. So we're
on to your second.
To my second, a book that I did pick up today at the con, and this is Alias number 2.
Nice.
How does that look?
We can see it. Alias number 2, Jessica Jones's second appearance.
Her second appearance. This thing, the gentleman had it marked at $8. I got a few other books, bundled everything, and so technically, I probably paid maybe half the amount on this.
Yeah, $4 or $5.
This book is minty. we'll see what happens with Jessica Jones in the future. Great cover. Second appearances, I mean, sometimes we get lucky. Second appearances tend to have higher values, and certain characters don't. But to find her second appearance near mint and get it for like $4-5, I mean, you can't beat that. I think that's a good price. So definitely happy.
Right. Yeah. I'm a big fan of second appearances. Especially if you're a baller on a budget and you love a character and you can't afford that New Mutants 98. Well, you can get a near mint plus 9.8 contender copy of X-Force #2, the second appearance of Deadpool, for $10.
Yeah. It's insane.
Yeah, and you just got that second Jessica Jones. If you don't want to shell out, $80-$100 for a higher grade first Jessica Jones, you get that second appearance for you said 4.
I actually did just do that last weekend, Joe. Pope of Chilitown, a great friend, he had a very big 4th of July sale.
Woo!
And he's hurting himself right now because he even said he went to send it in and get it graded. That's how confident he is in that thing being minty. And I think I got it for like $80 or something off him. So
now you have both the first and second appearance of Renee Montoya. And
that's how I tend to work.
I'm doing that with a lot of Batman characters that had their first appearance in the Golden Age. Like I've got the second appearance of Two-Face. First appearance of Two-Face, really expensive. Second appearance, much more affordable.
Yeah, second appearance is way more money than for me too. I mean, I can't even afford Golden Age. I prefer Silver Age appearances just because
that works.
I'm the low man's collector, the blue collar worker.
Yeah.
You guys get Canon money. I get Reese's just to do the show. So,
all right, on to my last book of the week. We got to pick a winner pretty soon. This is probably my best find of the day. Definitely the coolest find of the day. This is Green Lantern #7.
Yes.
And you'll notice it is missing the cover. Coverless book. Oh wait, I'm supposed to make myself bigger. See, I'm not great at this whole thing. We need Jeff here. That's why we couldn't see your book very well, Josh. This is Green Lantern #7. It's the first appearance of Sinestro. He's right down there. And the cool thing is he's actually not on the cover of this book, but he's on the splash page. So the fact that it's coverless, you can actually see Sinestro on the cover of this book. This was in a dealer's bin, marked at $10, and he was doing 50% off. So this book was $5.
Unbelievable.
Let me tell you, this book is worth a whole lot more than $5. I haven't really done research yet, but I'm willing to bet this is worth between $50 and $100.
At least.
It's the first Sinestro. It is the Green Lantern villain. We're getting Green Lantern in the DC universe, so I think that this is a great book to have. Someone's going to want this. The best thing about like coverless books and really low grade books like this and like this is that someone that wants these books but can't shell out the money, the big bucks, they're going to grab these entry-level copies and they can have the book and not spend, an arm and a leg on it. So that was my coolest find of the day. Definitely my best value purchase, but also just like for cool factor, it's the freaking first appearance.
Oh no.
Oh, sorry.
He left us.
See, this is why we need. I'm getting tired. Jeff's not here. I'm panicking. Josh, show us your last book of the week.
So it probably wasn't my best value book. It's still worth a lot to me though. My coolest book. I'm working on a run of collecting Joker covers, and I picked up a few of them today. And actually, they should have been on here, but I love this. This is the Joker, the 80th anniversary special 100-page spectaculars. And there was like probably 10 or 15 variant covers. And this thing is amazing. So this is a Arthur Adams, which is Art Adams.
Yeah, Art Adams, yeah.
So I'm loving this thing. I mean, I just think it's a great variant cover. There were a few different other of the variants in there, but I really thought this one was the best one out of them.
Yeah. Yeah,
got-
the Joker is like the most collectible character for cover appearances, like even more
if
than
you look,
Spider-Man and Batman.
yeah, you got Batman and Robin down here. Looks like you got some. What do you got? Like the his henchmen, which are really just like
Yeah.
monkeys or whatever. But still, the Joker with the two guns. I mean, this is really just like part of my collection, and I love picking up Joker covers. It's can't pick up any of the Silver Age and under, depending on what it is, because they get really expensive, especially Golden Age. But
Yeah.
man, I was happy to pick that up and add that to the collection, and I don't know, a great little haul.
Very cool, man. Conlon in the house. If you guys aren't following Conlon's comics on YouTube, he's got a great channel. And,
Oh, yeah.
Check him out. Check him out. Check out all the YouTube channel. Broke Boy just started one too. He's in the house right now. Josh, you have a YouTube channel. I have a semi-defunct YouTube channel where I only post YouTube shorts. But
Yeah, I mean, you got, man, you really got to get back. We got to do something. Maybe like dress up as you and work your job for 20 or 30 hours, so that way you can get back into making videos. Because you're the reason why I'm here. I mean, you got me into it.
I don't want to lose my license, Josh. We're not going to do that. Kaboom Comics says he's got a Joker sketch by him. Don't forget, he does sketches and cool original art on comic covers.
I didn't even know this. He hit me up earlier before the show. So, Kaboom, man, I can't wait to see what it is. I'm excited. And I'm going to be hitting you up about some other submissions. I got some stuff I want to do, not just for the comic book canon, but some personal stuff of mine. So we'll be talking soon, man.
Oh, he said Mysterio for me. You know I love some Mysterio. That's awesome, Kaboom. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I like it a lot. All right, Josh, we have a decision to make.
Yes.
I just also want to note one more time that Jeff's not here. We started at 8 o'clock on the dot, and we're wrapping up right around 9:40, 9:45. This has been a great show. We're doing great, but we have one more job to do, and that is decide between. Really, we only have two because Nori Jordan, unfortunately, not eligible. He's already in the finals for this month, but we have between Goonish Lurker and Raising Elm. And Josh, I'm thinking we go a big 1, 2, 3, and then we say which one is our favorite.
Okay.
So
you want to do like 1, 2, 3?
Yeah,
like
we're
on
gonna,
3? Or?
Yeah, let me. I'll go 1, 2, 3, and then we say it. Okay.
Okay.
On beat here. Ready? Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
You know who you want. Remember, I'm gonna remind you. We got Goonish Lurker with the Lobo, Ben Templesmith. We got Raising Elm with the Superman.
And that's it.
2.
Just
okay.
those two.
Only 2 options. So,
yeah, I know.
Chance for the 2 people that submitted. Go submit next week. I want to see at least 20 submissions. No, that's a lot. At least 10 submissions. Let's make it happen next week. We got 21 people in the room, so if half of you submit, we'll be good with 10 submissions. Josh, on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Raising Elm.
Oh, we do not agree here. Okay, now, since we don't have a judge to hop in.
Well, wait a minute. I don't know if you saw, but Dan, I don't know if Dan's still here. He did say if he needs to jump in. If he's got connection, he can.
Okay, Dan, if you're here, hop right in. If you're not here, we'll talk it out ourselves. Now, the reason I say Goonish Lurker is because, and you can give me your reason for Raising Elm. Not only this checks all 3 boxes in my mind. It is definitely a cool setup. We've got the book. We've got the 2 candles that Trevor picked up from Denver Fan Expo as well. Kind of just a little bit of extra in the picture. Definitely very aesthetically pleasing. Awesome cover. Lobo, yada yada. It's definitely unique. Not only did he get this book from Ben Templesmith and got it signed and everything, but it's got that great the signature there on it. And the little extra added remark at the heart. And then the third thing is the story. Getting this book, getting to meet Ben Templesmith for a second time, having a great experience with that artist in person. That is definitely a story. So this in my opinion checks all 3 boxes. Raising Elm, I think this definitely checks the box for aesthetics, what it looks like for sure. And I definitely think it kind of it tells a story as well. The third aspect, which is the fact that Justin isn't super into DC, but this may make him change his mind about DC. But I don't think it checks unique. It is a just book off the shelf from this week. So I don't think it checks that box, but it definitely checks the other two. And that is why I have Goonish over. If you want to make an argument for Justin here, go right ahead.
I mean, for me, Raising Elm, it's hard for me not to choose this, and I'm probably being biased here. I love DC, but there's something about this shot. Just like the way the POV is, the way with the glasses, in a way, it also kind of makes you feel like Clark Kent, aka Superman, in a way. It's just something about this that grabs my attention. And Gurnish obviously had a fantastic submission, checks off in all the boxes. But for me, this shot right here, I mean, you don't see this too often. And there's something about the way how Clark is moving the glasses off on the comic. And then you're also seeing the POV through back at.
Listen, I love that for sure. But the reason I went with Goonish is Goonish checks all three of the boxes, where Justin checks one of them several times over and then does check another one, which I'll give him that. We do have an answer. We've given our input, and it looks like Dan has decided Goonish Lurker, who I assume he's saying Goonish Lurker.
If you look down below, he's driving. Dan, please do not drive in text.
Text and drive.
Look, you're a judge, first of all, Dan. I mean, listen. What are you going to tell the other judge if you get pulled over? You know what I mean? Like, that's going to be rough. So,
well, let's make this official. I don't have a gavel, but I will use Solomon Grundy here as my gavel. Yes. Officially, I declare Goonish Lurker the winner of Fresh from the Comic Shop this week. Congratulations. You will be going up against whoever wins next week. And the winner of that will be meeting with Nori Jordan in the finals. Josh, thank you for being on the whole show today. I know this is outside of your contractual obligations and that you are certainly not receiving any additional pay, any additional perks or a bonus or anything like that for your extended appearance beyond the news today. But it is appreciated that since Jeff couldn't be here because of suspicious circumstances, that you're here. What do you got to say?
I'm here for the people. Okay. I'm telling you, I'm here for the canon. I love you guys. To all the new people that have actually shown up today, we thank you guys so much. Spread the word. Let's try to get more people involved. And please, next week, let's get some more submissions in. And again, like we said, if you guys have any problems or you feel like your submissions didn't go through, please reach out to us. We'll definitely make sure we get you on the show and we get things worked out. And, I think this show, we're going to have to look at the numbers in a couple of weeks. I think maybe we look at moving away from Jeff. Man. I'm just saying. Look,
man,
you got two great, good-looking, kind of bald guys here, kind of like before. But, I just feel like Jeff's always late. Then we run late too. And then, we're going to be out of here on time tonight for the first time in forever.
And we started at 8 o'clock on the dot. We didn't start at 8:03 or 8:05 or 8:07.
And then
you're right, man. Listen, I think that we'll have to discuss, you and I privately. Let's not air this out in front of the entire 24 million viewer community here on Comic Book Canon. But yeah, we got a big congrats to Goonish Lurker this week. We got Chicago Schultze hopping in saying, hello, gents. Chat. New to the channel, just subbed. One love from Chicago.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Come back next week. We'll be here. Same Comic Book Canon time.
And if you're on Instagram, please follow Comic Book Canon and submit submissions.
Yeah. Bold move, Josh, for sure. Jeff's not here. He will be here next week. Josh, again, thank you for being here. It is great to have you for the entire show. And
I may not be here next week. After just coming out on live and letting people know my thoughts. We'll see if I come back. But if
Yeah.
it was my last canon appearance, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. It's been fun. And maybe it's time that me and the old tie here ride off into the sunset.
I didn't even realize you were wearing a tie today.
I wear the because I am here
the
for
same
business.
color
I
as your
represent.
shirt. Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
realize that. Shout out to all the people that came and hung out today, by the way, and a couple of them in the chat here, Brian, Lexi, who are at First State Comic-Con. Always good to see people in person. You know, it's great to be behind the screen every week, chatting with all of you and hanging out. But you know, it's a little bit more special when you get to hang out in person. I got lunch with Pope of Chilitown afterwards, and actually, me and Mike went to a flea market beforehand, so we spent most of the day together. I am very much looking forward to going to Connecticut for Terrificon and meeting more of you who I haven't met before, as well as people who I have met before, and just hanging out, getting to you know, talk about our hobby and do stuff in person. As always, thank you so much for being here. It means a lot to us to just come unwind at the end of the long weekend and hang out and kind of reset before we go back to work on Monday. As always, be good to yourself, be good to others. Peace. Oh no, I wasn't ready. I didn't pull up the thing. See, this is why we need Jeff.
Let's rewind.
All right, we're gonna rewind. We're gonna try that again. Ready? Be good to yourself. Be good to others. Wait, hold on. Which one's the outro one?
Oh my God!
Man.
Are you telling me we're
Be good
running?
to yourself. Be good to others. Get the outro ready. CBC outro. Peace.